What's up everyone, welcome to today's video, welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So I've discovered this bug and it doesn't happen often. It will happen once in a while in the middle of, say, a small mission or side mission or whatever it is. This is where you have wave progression in the middle of an open world activity. Usually open world activities that are actually marked on the map can most of the time see this. And, you know, it's something that also happens in open world games. Most of you may or may not know I play Tom Clancy's The Division. I have an entire YouTube channel that is separate from this covering, you know, that game. And this game reminds me a lot of The Division. In fact, in its open world and the way the missions spawn around the world. And this is a very, very common occurrence that usually, you know, used to creep up on The Division a lot. The developers eventually went ahead and patched it to the best of their ability, but we have played that game since 2019, and from time to time we see bugs like this. So I was playing this particular mission. I dealt with the first two waves of bad guys. There were supposed to be two more waves that were trying to take out these police officers, but the other two waves did not come after defeating them. The police officers are over here. At first, they didn't see any enemy NPCs, and now they're still shooting. So what's probably going on is the other wave did not trigger after taking out the last baddie. I think it was one of them that was over there laying on the floor right now. I think this was one of the two that I recently took out. And that did not trigger to get the enemies out of their hideout, which is supposed to be basically, you know, kind of a artificial loading level or whatever it is. They basically just spawn, and then they, you know, sense me as a AI. Well, they sense me as a pawn, anyways, of some kind of player, controlled character, and then they sense these two AI as non-hostile to me but hostile to them, and then they start trying to attack this, you know, the police officers. So that's something that I think the developers probably need to prioritize, because, you know, this is a specific part of the game that is tied to some of the progression by and large. Right now I'm a New Game Plus, so it doesn't really affect me in a sense, but if you were trying to do maybe or get your momentum abilities, this is definitely something that, you know, if you wanted to do these so-called missions that will get you those abilities, you have to be able to execute. And this by itself, though not game breaking, can be immersion breaking in a sense. So I'm sure people have already reported these to the developers. There was the one about the floating enemy NPC meditating. They already, you know, fixed and patched that one. But again, I think we've started to see some of these, you know, or at least this particular bug anyways, show up after the patch. It might be something that is inevitable. And one thing I would say is, for a quick fix, what I usually do for things like this, I just return to the main menu and then I just log back in. And most of the time, it would do the job. So let's try it out again, and let's see if it would actually maybe bring me back to the world and have that same mission at the same nighttime available there. Because that's another thing too, you know, you make your way to the belfry and then that mission is already gone. Okay, the mission is still there, so I can just make my way back to the mission if that's the case. And, you know, I lose maybe the time that I spent in beating the bad guys. And, you know, if you're playing on a harder difficulty and maybe it was kind of challenging for you and you wanted to do it on hard, I can see how this can be frustrating as well. So I just wanted to go ahead and highlight that. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you have any of these same things that have crept up, by all means submit it to the developers. I think they have I think it's a link on their Twitter where you can actually do bug reports and so on and so forth. But to me, this is not going to bother me at all. I just showed you guys a quick fix for it, and I played another game that had a bunch of it. So this is a very rare occurrence anyways. I haven't seen too much of it. All right, I'll get out of here. Thanks so much for watching.